Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and I'm sending out this email in this update to kind of bring your attention to some letters that we're starting to receive in our mailbox from the Horry County Tax Assessor's Office. So if you haven't received a letter, you're likely to receive a letter. Not every person that owns property in Horry County is going to receive one, and I didn't call, I'm sorry. I searched the Horry County Tax Assessor's Office to try to identify what was going on. And if you didn't receive a letter, then that means that there's a possibility that your property's market value did not increase according to them by at least $1,000. But if anybody's value did increase by $1,000, apparently they're sending letters out. So that's my understanding. So again, I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm Greg Harrelson, Century 21, the Harrelson Group. I'm constantly keeping you updated as to what's going on in the local Myrtle Beach real estate market. Usually I give you data on the market, and I will be doing that probably in another week. But I wanted to send this particular email and video out just to make you aware of what's going on with the property taxes right now in our county. So you'll notice if you receive a letter, you're going to notice something. There's some things I want to draw your attention to, okay? Because the letter's a little bit different, and I don't remember receiving this last year. And so, this is different. First off, it's not a tax bill. Tax bills are not out yet. So what is this letter for? It looks like a tax bill, but it'll say not a tax bill. So what in the world are we getting it for? Well, this letter is to notify us that there's some changes. And if for the most part, you're going to see to the right-hand side of this letter, you're going to see there's something called your tax value, like your assessed value. And that value is going to be a number. You're going to see another box that's going to say a market value. And that's going to be a number. And then you're going to say you're going to see a box that has your new value, like the new tax value or assessed value. And those are what you're really looking for. What I find interesting is I have never seen in years of owning real estate where they ever told me what my market value is. How would they know what my market value is if they didn't do an appraisal? They didn't come look at my house. They didn't, no one did a site visit to see if I was on the lake or I was on, backed up to woods or if I was backed up to another house. So they don't know whether or not I have a premium lot or whatnot. So I only can guess that it's a calculated guess on their part. They probably see that in a certain zip code, maybe that zip code, there's been some appreciation. So they just kind of look at an old value, add that percentage or subtract that percentage from the old value, and that comes up to a new market value. Again, I really don't know what their exact formula is, but I know no one came to my house to actually look at it and do an appraisal on the property. So there has to be some sort of calculation, some sort of formula that gives them what they feel is going to be an educated guess on what the value is. Now, the reason why I'm spending time on that is because that's very important. You want to look at that. You may want to look and see, is that value in the right range? Do you think that value is correct? And that's very, very important. Do you think that value is correct? Because if you think that value is extraordinarily high, then just understand that value is one of the things that they're using to calculate your new assessed value, which is the number they use to determine whether your taxes are going to go up or down. And in most cases, it looks like that for a lot of property owners in Horry County, taxes are going up. That when we do get a bill in the next couple of months, it looks like we're going to have a higher bill. That's what's probable for a lot of people. But look at the market value and see if you agree with that. If you do not agree with your market value, with the home value or your property's value, then you may want to click the link that is in the email or in the description of this of this video and go directly to the assessor's website, the Horry County tax website, and see what the procedures are to appeal. Or when I looked at their website, they're calling it to object. So I'm going to point out a few rules. First of all, I told you the 3 things that you need to look for in that letter. And then if you see that your value is higher than what you believe, then there's a remedy to go in and submit an objection to it. There's a process. And what I saw on their website in the first paragraph is, you have this notice. If you're going to object, the notice must be served. You must serve a written objection to the county assessor's office within 90 days. Now, again, I'm going to include the link to this page on their website so you can read the rules and how to object and what's the process. And I highly recommend that you look at this, but it's time sensitive. You have 90 days to submit your objection. I'm going to assume that if you do not submit in 90 days, then that's the same thing as just agreeing that for this calendar year, you're agreeing that that's the value that you should be taxed on. So again, this is important. You could save thousands of dollars by objecting and then going through the appeal process if you believe you're being unfairly assessed. But the market value is probably the first number that you want to look at to determine that. Now, I've also included a link where you could go and find out what your property's worth, at least through an online resource. So go ahead and use that if you want to. And then you can compare what the online assessment is with the assessor's office assessment. And if you see there's a major discrepancy in the two, you actually might want to go ahead and submit an objection. Now, I know I'm giving you a bunch of information here. I hope you find this extremely helpful. Property taxes are likely to increase for most people. And most people, look, we've already dealt with insurance increases. The last thing we need is property tax increases on top of it, especially if we can do something about it or we can prevent it in the case where we're being unfairly taxed because of maybe miscalculating one's property value. And I'm not saying that the Horry County Assessor's Office by any means is doing anything wrong. It's just that they're putting a number out there. They're giving us an opportunity to object. They're showing us how we go through the process. And I want to make sure that you understand all of this. I want to make sure that I'm very clear with you. So again, in the email and in the description of this video, there's a few things that you need to pay attention to. Number one, there's a link where you can go to the assessor's office and you can see what the rules are for objecting and appealing. Number two, when you get the letter, look at the market value, and that's the one that you need to see if you agree with. Then look at the old assessed value, what you were taxed on, and what you're going to be taxed on now. So that'll tell you the difference and how much more assessed value you have, and that's how they're going to calculate your increase or decrease. I doubt anyone's going to see a decrease, but those are the things that we need to look for. I hope you really find this information helpful. If I can do anything for you, please reach out to me. Remember, my name is Greg Harrelson with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and I'm 100% committed to making sure I'm a valuable resource for your real estate needs in the Myrtle Beach area. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.